This Cayeno's an okay player. You know what? When they get a good player, they'll replace him. That's all there is to it. But he's an above that. He's an average sort. He makes the plays.
Coming up at 12, Mets baseball and Howie at 2. And then the ball game, and then the Knick game tonight. It's a good day on the fan. Mike and I will see you tomorrow from Shea at 3 o'clock. Not a weird starting time because we're going to go to 7. Enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy the NBA. Big sports weekend. Great job out of Jeff Hughes, Eddie Scazzeri, and Robert W. Gelb for the last 3 days. We'll see you tomorrow. Adios.
For Saturday, partly cloudy, high expected to be in the lower 60s. Current Central Park temperature 67 degrees, sunny skies, and that's what's happening. This is Ian Eagle with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station of New York Mets baseball. I say good morning, but I guess it's a good afternoon because it's 4 minutes past noontime on this Thursday, the 27th day of April, 1995. The number, as always, is 718-937-6666. A little switch up today with Mike and the Mad Dog in Colorado for yesterday's season opener against the Rockies. They did the show this morning. I'm here from 12 until 2 o'clock, which time Howie Rose will take over for an early, guess you might say, Mets pregame, and then it'll be the Mets and Rockies. Looking for adventure in whatever comes our way. Yeah, gonna go make it happen. Take the world in a loving way. Fire all of your guns, your constant, explode into space. Like a true nature skies. We were born to be wild. We can climb so high. I never wanna die. Excuse me. Allegedly on his way to the phone. What is he doing? Oh, he's on the phone. Good morning, Mr. Russ. Stand by. This is Bernard, Mr. Russ. I'm good. Stand by for the Iron Man.
Well, he wants to talk to Bernard. He'll talk to anybody. All right, here now, the Imus of the morning program. Good morning, Mr. Rather.
Hey, good morning, Imus. Man, there's so much stuff to sell in so little time.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning. Dan Jenkins had a great line, by the way. He said if O.J. had known he was going to get 8 blacks in a jury, he'd have gone ahead and waxed Faye Resnick, too. I don't want to drag you into this, Dan, but...
Check, please.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN, Angel, Teen Angel, Teen Angel. Imus in the morning.
Let me just say this. If you're 10 years old, you want to talk about the yacht race. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be downhill in your life. What he needs to do is go out and get... Down Connecticut, 2020 Sports. The ball is loose. Stark bends over to pick it up. Ooh, such soft hands. Now penetrates the defense and shoots the 3. Yes, and it counts. What a man. And the Knicks now with a 20-point bulge. Knicks beat the Cavs in Game 1. Good morning. Mike Redwood Sports. Randy Rump with the call on the Knicks Radio Network.
Knicks destroyed the Cavs 103-79.
Man, you are just such a mindless gnat. It's unbelievable.
Big game from Charles Oakley.
Yeah, last few games season we played well. I think there was just a continuation. Something that, team coming out, the first game was always important. Cleveland's a team that played hard to beat it twice here. We didn't want to have a slip-up, and we just got the job done.
Knicks did not have a flip-up. They will play tomorrow again against the Cavs.
Yeah, it just makes me and Bernie sick every time they win.
Ugh, God. The only good news was the Colorado Rockies beat the Mets again.
All right.
Did they go to overtime or extra innings, whatever they call it? Yeah, they have extra innings in baseball, overtime in other sports.
Whatever it is they had.
Fine. 8-7. Dallas Green was upset with the umpires, the replacement umps, but said talk to the people that hired them.
Yeah, well, you should have interviewed the late president. He was here last night.
Hello.
Didn't have the courtesy to come down and say hello or kiss my ass or nothing.
Why? No, we don't need that language on this radio program.
What's going
He's in
on?
charge of it.
I mean, get that fat pantload off. I mean, that old drunk.
It's the second game of the season.
Yeah, but we don't need that kind of language from him. Why didn't you beep that?
It was meant to be beeped.
Well, what happened?
Apparently something went wrong.
Who was he talking about?
Talking about the National League, head of the National League. In terms of the people that hired the replacement umpires. Making a comment direct to all baseball officials who refused to get a contract with the umpires.
But who was he talking about who didn't come to visit him?
The commissioner of the National League.
Who is that?
I don't know.
No, you're just kidding us, right, Mike? No, wait a minute. Mike knows, really.
He's putting you on. He says, you know what I want to happen to you? I want you to kiss mine.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, man, this is just unbelievable. Get out of here before I choke you.
Hey, Davis, turn that radio off.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once?
Imus in the morning.
See, this is an observation on headline issues of the day. Imus in Washington's senior political analyst, the late Richard M. Nixon.
Yes, and thank you so much as always. Imus in the militia. I'm over here, man, over here. You're having difficulty seeing me because I'm camouflaged. And look out, I know karate and other dangerous words.
And you look stupid.
Hey, lower that rhetoric. Hate radio, right there. Perfect example of what my people are taking a beating for. You probably didn't know that I had my own militia, did you?
No.
How do I look? Camo outfit, got these twigs sticking out of my ears. And this is the best part. I've liberally smeared... Wait a minute. I hate that word. I've generously smeared this green and black camo paint all over my face. Blend right in, don't I? Truthfully now, would you have known I'm here?
Yes.
Well, never mind. Just trying to recapture a bit of glory, Dono, that's all.
And that would be,
Richard's Rangers, my old militia group. You never heard of them?
no.
Perfect. All these years and our cover's still not blown. You know who I have to thank for that? My old comrade, G. He ain't heavy, he's my brother, Gordon Liddy. Great man at the point. You could have put a blowtorch on his scrotum and he wouldn't have peeped. That's what this sissy society needs, Dono. More people with asbestos scrotums. Anyway, issue 1. Hate radio. Or as you stated, give us 22 minutes, you'll hate our guts. You know, I could have used a fellow like you in Richard's Rangers. You were in the Marines, in the Corps, right?
Yeah.
Great, beautiful. Armor, infantry, what?
Band.
Excuse me?
I was in the band. I, played the bugle.
I'm going to forget you said that, soldier. Let's move on. Issue 2, Little Rock, Arkansas. Next destination for the Imus in the Morning radio program. Or how to put hate into hope. President Clinton's worst nightmare come true. Not only is the I-Man heard in Washington, D.C., but also on a 100,000-watt radio station dead center in the state of Arkansas, whose frequency, 103.7, only slightly exceeds the audience's number of existing teeth. Great state, though. One of my favorites. I mean, you don't suppose that there might be a militia mentality in a couple of locations in the state of Arkansas, do you? Oh, no. There are more people in Arkansas who are members of militias than are members of the PTA. In fact, the Arkansas PTA is a militia. Jeez, what a bunch of goobers. Anyway, issue 3, and my principal reason for joining you this morning, Dono, a great moment in the history of philately.
Of, what?
Stamp collecting, you stooge. The striking of the highly desirable, if I do say so myself, Richard Milhouse Nixon stamp, commemorating the 37th President of the United States. Just issue. I have some here that I'd personally like to present to you. Great likeness, eh?
Well,
Enabling me to say to you and to another old nemesis of mine, now that I think about it, Edward M. Kennedy, something I wanted to say to you both for a long time. Dono, Teddy, take these stamps and lick Dick. Ow! A poke in the eye through the old Dick scope today, J.D., with Dick Nixon, the aforementioned deceased president of the United States.
Say you want a revolution. Well, you know, Primus in the morning.
No, that's Fred got it done this morning.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Las Vegas, Nevada, in the lounge with Scott Muniz. Scotzo.
That was a two-in-a-row music marathon. The best of the 70s and 80s. Waterloo and Radio. A little ABBA and Elvis Costello for you. And speaking of Waterloos and the radio, it's time for the professor to finally weigh in on the subject, seeing as I have experience both on the radio and in the loo.
Yeah.
Toilet humor notwithstanding, gang, I gotta come out in defense of hate radio. It provides a valuable public service. Somebody has to actually say the things we can only think about because we're too afraid to utter them in public ourselves. In childhood, we're all victim to the cruelty of other kids' taunts. These events are mired deep within our psyches, torture us every day, cause ulcers, high blood pressure, and heart disease. The best way to exercise that repressed pain is to bring out all that negative energy and dump it on someone else. It's a primal instinct to delight at the misfortunes of others, whether they be consequences of experience or just the great genetic crapshoot. But for most of us, it's not very Dale Carnegie to verbalize that delight. That's where the broadcasting bullies come in.
Yeah.
Comparing Dr. Ruth Westheimer to one of those flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz, noting that Larry King's complexion calls to mind a slice of whole wheat bread, or saying that Bobby Batista is an example of what one of those kids from Village of the Damned would look like grown up. These are vicariously cleansing observations. I don't know about you, but when someone on hate radio says Donna Shalala needs to wear a sign around her neck that says human so that no one will try to shoot her with a tranquilizer dart and staple a tag to her ear, I experience a catharsis. And it keeps me from punching out the fat moron behind the popcorn counter at the movie theater who tries to get me to go for the large size Dr. Pepper because it's only a quarter more. So to paraphrase the shampoo ad, don't hate them because they're hateful. Get on your knees and thank whatever God you believe in for those who boldly go where no one with good conscience or breeding dares to go themselves.
Yeah.
Someone has to serve as an escape valve for all our anger and frustration, and so it might as well be some intelligence-challenged right-wing pant load with a microphone stuck in his face, or a sophomoric gutter-mouthed piece of driftwood and cowboy boots and an Auto Body Express denim jacket. See? I feel so much better now.
Don't you fall on your foot again, you fat lizard. Scott Minnie here in the Imus in the Morning program. Let me point out to Tim and Rochester and the rest of you inbred goobers who are buying into that bald-headed old fool, G. Gordon Liddy, screaming about how you can't trust the government and what the FBI's guilty of. This is a geek who, as a member of the FBI, was a pivotal figure in the Watergate conspiracy.
Hello.
Breaking into the Watergate Hotel, and he's the reason But you ask yourself, what is an old fool, an old nut job, pounding, as Charles said, carpet tacks in his bald head, going to do with his life?
This is it.
This is it. I mean, what was going to happen? How much, Bartolomeo? How much does it cost to carry the G. Gordon Liddy show, or is it even a cash deal? What did he say, Bernard?
He said straight barter.
So you don't have to pay at all. So see, that's what is so bogus about this. And what's this geek's name in the New York Post? And some of these other people who write about radio and they write about these national radio programs and what they don't know.
Yeah, I'm missing the morning. In your shorts, 2020 sports.
With 10 seconds left, behind Carl Malone. Stockton looking at the clock. 7 seconds. 6, 5. Stockton drives. Put it up. It's good. Stockton. Stockton.
NBA playoffs underway. Good morning, Mike Breen with Sports. Hot Rod Hundley with the call of the Utah Jazz's 102-100 victory over the Houston Rockets. A game a lot closer than the final score indicated. A game that wasn't as close as the final score indicated. Knicks whooping up on the Cavs, 103-79. A game that bored Knicks radio analyst Walt Clyde Frazier on WFAN in New York.
Hey, Mike, wake me when it's over.
Game 2 tomorrow afternoon. All right, Clyde. Other winners last night, Seattle over the LA Lakers. Indiana topped Atlanta.
Great.
calling a New York Rangers hockey practice, Mark Messier was taunted while he spoke with reporters.
Well, we're just really worried about taking care of our schedule, and not really looking. Obviously, we're looking at standings, but we're not going to try to put ourselves in a position where we need help. And I think that if we take care of our own business, our own games, one game at a time, that should be enough.
Messier had to be restrained before he went after the heckler.
I don't blame him. Well, his voice sounded awfully familiar, Mike. I wonder who that was.
In baseball, Baltimore Orioles.
Guess what?
Hey, Bubba, what are you doing?
Watching the OJ trial. We'll be in Des Moines, Iowa tonight at the Bel Air Ballroom. This is almost the I-Man's favorite Delbert McClinton song.
Here comes the weekend, honey. What's going on?
Delbert McClinton thinks I'm with you.
Imus in the morning.
If you...
And now to sing, Rush Limbaugh.
A liberal liar, Papa. A liberal liar, Papa. Your left-wing jive about health care and welfare. Tell me why the hell I care what happens to all those lazy freeloaders and those hiring quotas. Go get a job, go get a job, go get a job. I make lots of dinero, more than Henry Cisnero, to say this stuff on radio. Hate radio. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Cuidado por agua blanca. Careful of that white water. Creo que sí está muy caliente. You're in very hot water. It's pretty deep, so you'd better be careful. Arriba! Arriba! Here's a little dance I call the Mexican bailout. Don't applaud, just throw devalued pesos. A liberal liar, Papa. A liberal liar, Papa. Your left-wing jive makes me hopelessly nauseous. I get sick to my stomach the way you chase all those fine senoritas. Muy bonita your pita, but keep it in. Please keep it in there in your pants. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Bye bye ba ba.
Fred, this is Senator Tom Rutherford. Senator Rutherford is my...
How do you do?
This is my white trash brother, Fred Imus. How are you?
Fine.
Oh, wait, guess what, Fred?
What?
Well, I got great news for you.
I do?
Little Fred's gonna love this. We have the new Delbert McClinton version of the Beatles come together. What do you think? Any headphones?
He's leaving.
I'm getting out of here.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Delbert McClinton to come together. I sort of like that. I mean, I do too. We still don't have time for the entire 4 minutes.
I understand.
Did you like that, Fred?
You know, nobody will have to shoot the other 3 Beatles.
They hear that? They'll shoot themselves.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Well, we did everything we could to get her to take somebody out. All right, Cookie's going to sing along. Why don't you? A little, about a minute of Motown.
I don't like you, but I love you. Seems that I'm always thinking of you. Though you treat me badly, I love you madly. You really got a hold on me. Really got a hold on me. Really got a hold on me. Really got a hold, baby.
Imus in the morning.
Are you ready?
2020 sports. Line drive, base hit, right center field, and the Rockies win the ball game. Mets lose again. Good morning. Mike Breen with sports. Another loss for the Mets on the opponent's final swing, 8-7 yesterday in Denver. Manager Dallas Green sees a trend developing.
you look at most of the close losses that we've had, you can really trace it right back to 3 or 4 instances where we don't pay attention to what we're doing.
I've only played 2 games.
Good Lord.
That's got to be a cup from last year, right?
No. Mets starter Jason Huckabee knew where to lay the blame. The replacement umpires.
These guys, if you don't throw it right over the plate, they have no idea.
There they are, blaming the umps already. Mets 0-2, the Rockies 2-0 on their way to a world championship.
I know a bunch of these folks are.
Where is the guy? This is Tom Carvel.
Let me have another bottle out.
Yet, I haven't got any sleep yet. We got to do.
Yeah, no kidding. You haven't been asleep in about 5 years. Yeah, I don't mean.
Only about 24 hours.
I don't mean to be rude to you, ma'am.
Yeah, not rude.
But,
that's what your radio show's all about.
Yeah, that's right.
How about a crummy weekend? How about rain?
NBA playoffs last night. Knicks beat the Cleveland Cavaliers.
You give us 22 minutes, baby.
You'll hate our guts.
Knicks winning 103-79. Big game for the Oak Man.
Exactly.
So you're the coach of all those guys with arms about the size of my waist, right?
They're not small.
Are you going to be on the boat today?
We kind of decide in the morning.
I guess it'd be out of the question for you to have somebody hold up a little sign saying,
What an idiot.
I'm a Kogo. How hard would that be?
Your radio sounds funny in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the morning.
NFL draft finished up yesterday. Nice pick by the LA Raiders. In the 6th round, they take Brigham Young offensive tackle Eli Herring. He's a religious Mormon, can't play on Sunday. Raiders. Just win, baby.
Can you be a Mormon and not be religious? I guess you could, right?
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
When North Fork Bank...
1995, Infinity Broadcasting, all rights reserved. Imus in the Morning is a presentation of WFAN and the Westwood One Radio Network. It's just sad.
This concludes the entertainment and revenue-generating portion of your broadcast day. We now return you to the rest of your local programming schedule, an indecipherable embarrassment of broadcasting incompetence that compelled the station to subscribe to the Imus in the Morning program in the first place. The entertainment and revenue-generating portion of the broadcast day, the Imus in the Morning program, will resume Monday morning. Check your local listings for time and schedule.
For sports scores and sports news, it's WFAN 2020 Sports at the top of the hour, 20 past the hour, and 20 before the hour. That's 2020 Sports all day, every day on the Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York. WFAN 2020 Sports.
It's 10:01. Good morning. This is Mike Breen. Fair on Sunday, high 65. 60 right now. That's what's happening. I'm Mike Breen, WFAN 2020 Sports, the flagship station for New York Mets baseball.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
And a good morning, everybody. Russ Salzberg with you here on this Friday morning, the 28th day of April, 1995. The number, as always, is 718-937-6666. Lots to talk about, beginning with, certainly front and center, basketball, in particular, Knick basketball, in particular, what might have been their best game of the season. Seemed okay. And that's a wrap on hour number one. Russ Salzberg with you here. The number remains 718-937-6666. Ernie Grunfeld coming up after the break.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN.
45. 63 degrees right now. That's what's happening. I'm Mike Breen, WFAN 2020 Sports, the flagship station for New York Rangers hockey.
Sports Radio 66, The Fan, WFAN, New York.
And hello again, everybody. Russ Salzberg with you here on this Friday morning, the 28th day of April, 1995. The number remains 718-937-6666. 11:04 the time as we head into our second hour. We again will be here until 1 o'clock, at which time Susan Wallman and Bernard King take over from 1 to 3 with a Friday afternoon edition of Friday Night Hoops. And then Mike and the Mad Dog, Francesca Russo, will take you the rest of the way over at Shea Stadium as the Mets get ready for... But they're responding. You know, there is still talent there.
Sports Radio WFAN.
Bob Hughley. Stay tuned.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan. WFAN.
It's $1,000
out there that are willing to stand strong against Major League Baseball. Thanks to Lisa Johnson and Lula Shepard. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan. WFAN.
We're giving away a pansies, Fred. How were you in the paratroopers? I know how he was in the paratroopers. They used to have to push him out of the plane. Did you ever actually, when you were in the paratroopers, did you actually ever jump willingly out of a plane?
No. If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
One day the mailman came in here, and Fred was sniffing him, and he said, I don't like the dogs sniffing me. And I said, well, why don't you get outside then?
Well,
They're
Fred,
all ready to explode.
Curb your dog.
Yeah, that's the first thing. That's the first thing. Keep your dog from sticking his nose in everybody's crotch. That's number one. And number two, how nuts are you jumping ugly with a postal worker? Then it'll be Steve and a postal worker. They'll be leading you around that warehouse at the end of a wire coat hanger with a shotgun stuffed in your ear.
Imus in the morning on the Fan. Sports Radio 66. WFAN.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York, WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good morning at 9 o'clock. This is John Minko.
Well, George S. Patton Jr.
At ease. Welcome to Imus Geographical Encroachment Update 19995. The Imus mission continues to make inroads into heretofore impenetrable territory, rural areas where resistance has been high. Give me the overhead, Private, and shoot out those lights. Impressive. First slide. This is a satellite view of an area of the United States of America that prior to 1992, no one knew existed, or cared for that matter. This is Arkansas, state 48, contiguous. You will note in this view from an altitude of 185 miles, the apparent complete absence of human habitation as we know it, with the possible exception of this location right here, a backwoods settlement called Little Rock, state capital, home of a suspected militia radio station, KSYG, now carrying the Imus in the Morning program from All Hate Radio, the AHR network. Now then, there are certain adjustments we're going to have to make, people, to completely penetrate this area. Next slide. Here is a list of things we've done at command level in our effort to induce locals to listen. Things we're experimenting with to try to better identify with an all-Arkansas audience. These are in no particular order. First, I've gotten the dog pregnant. Hung a ham. Put some plastic pinwheels in the front yard and a truck tire finder painted white. Laid in a case of Pabst Blue Ribbon beer, warm. Won Johnny Paycheck record. Married my boy's oldest daughter. Put an oil drum out back with the word men stenciled on one side and women on the other. Is everybody still with me?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Now then, the initial list of Arkansas inducement actions represented mandatory measures. Next slide. This list is optional, though strongly recommended. Form one complete fender of your automobile out of Bondo and spray the entire car with 3 different colors of primer. Then put the following bumper stickers right in the middle of the trunk lid. Jesus is Lord. And immediately beneath that, gun control is 6 in the bullseye. And then immediately below that, happens. Your standard uniform of the day will be as follows. Big Smith overalls, open at the sides, no underwear. And one-size-fits-all mesh hats bearing any of the following logos. Tyson Foods, MFA Mills, John Deere, Get Bass Pro Shops, Napa Auto Parts, or Pfizer Mastitis Control. All, of course, with the bill worn forward. Now then, a final political tip for dealing with the basic Arkansan. Draw an imaginary line from the northwest corner of the state to the southeast. When conversing with anybody on the left of that line, remember, Bill Clinton is the single greatest leader in the history of the Western world. On the right side of that line, Bill Clinton most likely drove that Ryder truck. And finally, remember this standard greeting. Forget hell, stars and bars forever. Or the jocular but offensive, your sister has a chipped tooth. Thank you for your attention. That is all.
Ladies and gentlemen, George S. Patton here in the Imus in the Morning program. Imus in the Morning news time, 8 minutes after the hour where we are on Little Rock this morning, KSYG, which is an FM station.
Hey, Beavis, turn that radio on, will you? I do.
Not you, you hamster humper.
29 after the hour. A little white zombie now.
I'm the Astro Green, with definition styling American breeding, yeah. I'm the crawling Imus in the morning.
Imus in the morning, 2020 Sports.
Back in the wing to Douglas. Fakes the return.
Jack explained his side of the story.
As he walked away, he hit me in my scrotum, my balls, so to speak. So it was a retaliation blow, and I just, punched him in his face.
Ordway refused comment. Reportedly suffered a minor laceration. Apparently it came over during their pregame interview. He asked some difficult questions that Jack took exception to.
What were those difficult questions?
How do you spell your first name?
Yeah, who's the president?
I don't think that's just
Well, all right, fine. Celtics tied the series at one game of break.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing.
Grow up to be just like Jesus and never have to work. Just travel around from town to town, wherever evil lurks. Cross the holy land with rod in hand and sandals on my feet. But I'll stop a while and I'll share a smile with everyone I meet.
Imus in the morning.
I've always...
With born-again Christians.
Okay, fine. And it is the following. If you are a born-again Christian who believes in your faith to the exclusion of all others and rejects all others, then that, in my mind, is not a Christian attitude.
Go to hell.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Can you be a Jew and go to heaven?
Of course not.
What are you, crazy? What are you, drinking again? Can you be a Muslim or a Muslim? Can you believe in Allah and go to heaven?
I don't
Can you
want to
be-
address those.
Can you? Yes or
I'm
no?
simply going to
Yes
address.
or no?
I'm addressing.
You know why? Because you're a born-again Christian. You can't even tell the truth about that. You can't answer a simple question.
That's just stupid.
Heaven is like a country club. No Jews, no blacks, no nothing.
Imus in the morning.
Hallelujah.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
All right, so
Not coming up.
Mike and the Mad Dog. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Tonight.
Hey, Papa, what you doing?
Quiet, Beavis. I'm on the phone. Well, I appreciate the offer, Mr. Gaddafi, but... Okay, Momar. But I think Hillary and I will stay here in America. Now that Libya isn't a beautiful country and all, it's just that we're simple country folk from Arkansas. Okay, you bet. Love to the rest of the Bedouins.
Who is that?
Muammar Gaddafi. He said that seeing as America was in turmoil, he thought Hillary and I would want to move to Libya.
Why would you want to live with a bunch of goat humpers? You can have sex with farm animals in Arkansas.
Now, Beavis, I didn't have sex with farm animals in Arkansas.
Oh, yeah? What do you call Jennifer Flowers?
I never had sex with Jennifer Flowers either, Beavis.
Yeah. And you didn't inhale, right? I get it. If I had sex with that cow, I wouldn't admit it either.
Moo! Where did you get this crazy idea that I had sex with Jennifer Flowers, Beavis?
Her book.
Since when do you know how to read?
I can't, but check out these pictures.
This isn't Jennifer Flowers' book, Beavis. This is her Playboy photo spread.
Wow! Look at those thingies. Now tell me she's not a cow.
You're a minor. You shouldn't be looking at that kind of trash, Beavis. Where'd you get this?
I found it under the bed.
Oh, boy, Beavis. Don't tell Hillary.
Why not? It was under her bed.
Menage a trois.
Yeah, Hillary, Jennifer, and Katie Lang.
Wake up, kids. It's 1:30. You ain't nothing really changing but the dates. You a grand slammer, but you know Babe Ruth. You gotta learn how to relate. I be swinging from the pearly gate. I got all the answers, and lo and behold, you got the right key, baby, but the wrong key. Ho, yo.
Imus in the morning.
Some years.
Hey, Beavis, check it out. I could listen to Imus in the morning back home in Little Rock now.
So what? He sucks.
I like him, Beavis. He makes me laugh. And not that phony kind of polite laughter that I have to do sometimes, like with that Conan O'Brien. Boy, he can't suck enough. I wish I could institute an embargo on lame-ass comedians.
What's an embargo?
The government prohibition on something. I just signed one effectively cutting off all trade with Iran.
What's Iran have to trade, besides dirt?
Well, they've got an awful lot of oil, Beavis.
But I thought American oil companies weren't allowed to buy Iranian oil.
Well, they weren't allowed to sell it here in the United States, but prior to this embargo, they could sell it to other countries.
So, like, who will those other countries buy their oil from now?
They'll have to buy it direct from Iran, I guess.
So, like, gasoline will be cheaper in those countries, but more expensive here?
Well, I guess that may be the case.
Wow, good plan. You're really showing them.
Bite me, you little butt munch.
They should have an embargo at the White House. No more pizza, cheeseburgers, or bimbos.
Beavis and Bubba here, the Imus in the Morning program. 1-800-370-IMUS. Actually get to talk to the I-Man, who is headquartered here in New York, spreading across the country, much like
Scotzo's waste. Scott Muni, one of the all-time great rock and roll disc jockeys in the history of radio. Primarily works. What time are you on at WNEW?
I go on at 3 and I get off somewhere around 4:30.
What?
I'm 78. I can't do those long air shifts anymore.
So we have a conundrum here this morning.
Did you have a doctor look at it? Maybe get it removed?
Rob Bartlett and the Bartletts, you've heard of them.
Yeah.
They'll be at doing their comedy act deal, which they do just ad nauseum almost every weekend someplace. It's all throughout this area. They'll be at Yuck Yuck's Rascals Comedy Clubs. Friday, your head hit the, you okay?
I'm fine. just nodding off there for a second.
Yeah. They'll be at these two comedy clubs. Friday night in Ocean Township. Where's that?
That's in New Jersey, I believe.
Okay. And Saturday night in West Orange, New Jersey.
That's also in New Jersey.
Okay. Now, one of the comic geniuses of the 20th century.
I'm sure he'd be very happy that you called him one of the comic geniuses of the century.
No. I was going to talk about George Carlin.
Oh.
In your shorts, 2020 Sports.
Jules has it. Lobs at the Price on the right side. Price still in the backcourt. Down to 5 seconds. Price now brings it up on the right side. Price double teamed up top to Ferry. Wide open for 3. Oh, yeah. Bounces no good. And the buzzer sounds, and the Knicks go back up on top of the series.
The Knicks topped the Cavs 83-81 last night. Mike Breen with the call. Scott Muni in for Breen. Imus in the morning, 2020 Sports. Patrick Ewing's 23 points and 10 rebounds led the Knicks to a 2-1 lead in the best-of-5 series. Go New York, Cleveland can't suck enough. In their best-of-5, the Lakers are also leading 2-1 after their magical win against Seattle 105-101. Speaking of magic, a Scotzo Sports sidebar. Saw David Copperfield's special last night. David, of course, is engaged to supermodel Claudia Schiffer. How this pant load lands a baberoni like Claudia? You'd think it was because she likes the way he makes his penis disappear.
No. What has this got to do with sports?
But when you look at all the high-profile magicians around today, Copperfield, Siegfried and Roy, I think the operative magic word here is beard. In baseball, pitcher Hideo Nomo will be the first Japanese player to start in the major leagues in 30 years when he takes the mound for Los Angeles Dodgers today. Nomo, a 26-year-old right-hander, is scheduled to start against the San Francisco Giants this afternoon at Candlestick Park. The last Japanese-born player in the majors was Masanori Murakami, who pitched for the Giants in 1965. Nomo is beside himself with the anticipation of this event. Asked to comment, Senator Al D'Amato wished the diminutive Mr. Nomo good luck in the game and hoped there would be no giant reptiles attacking the park while he was on the mound. And finally, a Scotzo sports quiz. Dennis Conner will be sailing with his crew on Young America's boat. Which of the following are you most likely to hear on board the vessel during the race? 1, come full about. 2, see how the mainsail sets. 3, there she blows. I'm Scott Muni. Imus in the morning, 2020 Sports.
Cleveland rocks, 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 Cleveland.
The buzzard bites my weenie.
Imus in the morning.
You suffer from
Kathy, give me a salad from Wendy's.
Right.
So I set it on the table down there, and I forget about it. So yesterday I have her get me another one.
Yeah.
So yes, I pick up the one that's been sitting there a week and a half. No, this is a true story. And it's rotten.
Yeah.
I get on the phone, and I call Wendy's, and I said, what the hell are you people doing selling people rotten food? And I'm going around the office raving to Kathy. I said, don't ever go to Wendy's again.
Your radio sounds funny in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the morning.
I'm looking around there, I said, well, what's in this sack? There was this nice fresh salad that she just got.
Imus in the morning.
Fred.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Well, might be time to put a new set of tires. TV unplugged. Here he is now.
Count Celadonna and beg your honest pardon. Shapiro's fortune cookie say that Ito is the hard one. Al D'Amato's also wasn't very apropos. Next day, tap dancing in the Senate floor show. Look out, Lance, give them all a second chance. Judge ain't the kind that likes to be patronized. Anyone connected with this case who ain't apologized. Every day there seemed to be another surprise. Can't hold a candle to a juicy scandal. Jeanette Harris sequestered, major
protester said she been treated like Jack Bennett's Rochester. Charges of racism, lady full of criticism. It's the kind of thing that they love in yellow journalism. Look out, Lance, she wanna dance. Somebody please explain to me this theory of conspiracy. This is about a murder, not an exercise of bigotry. Everyone forgot this is a heinous double felony. Watching this thing's become the trial of the century. I hate to admit it, OJ didn't commit it. After cross-examination, I think Dennis Funk did it. 4 boys, a nervous wreck, hammered by the pencil neck, sweating like you're trying to pass a loan shark a rubber check. Look out, Lance, witness wet his pants. It ain't hard to sympathize, all the deepest want to do is badger and antagonize. But Dennis ain't the one who should be penalized. Barishek ought to get that nose of his circumcised. I really can't decide what's dumb and what's dumber. Kayla's book or AC's 900 phone number. Can't win a hot seat, soon to be dead meat. Looks like a deadbeat, gotta move off of Easy Street. Look out, Lance, he got a big advance. Has he no dignity, publishing his diary? If he wrote a book, it ain't perjury, it's blasphemy. Kato better sign up for the William Morris Agency, cause the jury just got you a gig as an accessory.
Rob Dylan, Subterranean OJ Blues. Part 2. Here on the Imus in the Morning program.
I ain't looking to block you up, shock or knock or lock you up. I ain't looking for you to feel like me, see like me, or be like me. All I really want to do is, baby, be friends with you. Imus in the morning. Hey, good to see you.
Series last year and being absolutely mortified by that performance. Now they're down 2-1, and to get it back to Seattle for Game 5, they have to beat the Lakers in a form, and it will be a tough chore.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Some years ago, getting up with Charles at 4 o'clock in the morning for 30 years.
Yep.
She gets up and packs your hideous little lunch.
Yes, she does.
Well, here's what Deidre told me. When you put your pants on in the morning, that huge belt buckle you wear, that big cowboy belt buckle, it rattles and makes noise and wakes me up.
She's got it figured out.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
So I'm eating a carrot last night, and my wife says to me, honey, should you be biting on that? Won't you break your teeth? I said, what kind of teeth do you think I have?
Wooden teeth?
Jesus.
George Washington.
I'm 54 years old, not 94.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
If you listen.
Fan Highway Patrol.
It's 30 minutes past.
I know.
Asleep.
Then what happened?
Asleep. Weren't you? Yes, many times would it be. Well, it depends on whether you caught the head end or the caboose or not.
90 miles an hour.
So if you were on the head end, in those days, by the time I went to work for the Southern Pacific, they'd already gotten rid of the firemen, so you had the engineer and the head brakeman. They used to have 2 head brakemen, so you'd have 2 brakemen, a conductor, and an engineer.
Yeah.
With a train, with a couple of engines, 2 or 3, sometimes 4 engines, and a caboose, and about 100 cars in between.
Before or after the gold rush?
And my job was to make sure the air hoses were hooked up and the brakes were off the cars and to stay awake.
Can you imagine?
And call out the signals for the engineer. And oftentimes, before we left the yard in L.A., we'd be asleep. You know, I mean, you think, how can you be going 70 miles an hour in a freight train with 100 cars and be asleep? Well, that's just the deal. You just close your eyes. Particularly in the wintertime when it's cold, you got those heaters on full blast.
Yeah.
Then we used to get out, and then we pull into the yard there in Bakersfield and walk over to these railroad hotels, which are just the worst hotels on the planet. And I was talking to Mr. Fessler yesterday, and he says they're still there and they haven't gotten any better.
You run into people like Gary Allen Land and Robert Jacks.
That's
there,
exactly
right?
These 2 guys. That's who's there.
John
The place is full of people like Timothy McVie and these other 2 geeks and the Nichols brothers. So. But the I-Man loves Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
Buck Owens is a creep, but
We like Buck.
Imus in the Morning 2020 Sports rolls on.
Spurs, Suns, and Pacers sweep their opening round series. Good morning. This is Mike Breen with Sports.
What was that sound effect?
The broom. It's me in the back sweeping. It's just stupid. Sports sponsored by Joseph A. Bank. Go see Joey. He's got good stuff. NBA playoffs last night. Both the Denver Nuggets and Portland Trailblazers eliminated in 3 sets.
Now, continuing his mission to regain political viability, here is the billionaire industrialist, founder of United We Stand, H. Ross Perot.
Amos, now you're talking. Finally got your program on in a part of the country Ross Perot can identify with, Arkansas. You know, plain old everyday folk I can rub up against, like Don Tyson and the Walton Boys. Folks we all got something in common with, you know? Anyway, here's a couple of quick things I got on my mind. One, speaking of rubbing up against people, did you see that magic moron on TV, David Copperhead or whatever the heck his name is? I'll tell you what the mystery is, Amos. How the hell he ever glom on to Claudia Schiffer? Now think about this. You put that boy in a baseball hat, snap a picture of him head on, and you've just found John Doe number 2. Somebody called the ATF. Now then, here's something else I've been thinking about. You gotta admire this fella who's up for Surgeon General, Stephen Foster. Older than dirt. Wrote all those songs, and now he's a doctor. There's your American dream, Amos.
No, that's Henry Foster, not Stephen Foster. Stephen Foster is dead.
Wait a minute now. You mean that nut who, every time he attended a birth, didn't know whether to hold him or to fold him, so to speak?
Yeah.
He's the one up in front of the Senate?
Yes.
Well, that's just sad. He ain't got a hootoo's chance in a Tootsie Planned Parenthood clinic, Amos. Bubba Clinton can just forget that one right now. And say, speaking of Bubba, how about that White House Correspondents' Dinner the other night? I bet you're sorry you missed it. Started off with a moment of silence, and it ought to just stayed there. Had to feel sorry for Conan O'Brien. Room was tougher than the back wall of a shooting gallery. But the boy did suck, if you'll pardon my Swahili, Amos. That deal he does with the moving lips in the middle of President Clinton's face, it's just awful. Reminds me of watching some sort of bodily function.
Well,
and besides, wouldn't it have been a lot more accurate if you'd stuck a pair of big old lips somewhere else on the boy? Down around the old Paula you-know-who's latitude? Just a thought. Anyway, for everybody who figured you'd cornered the market on ego, Amos, forget about it. Couple of things out of my close personal friend Larry King's newspaper column this week. First of all, he goes on and on about how Cato Kalin showed up at his engagement party. You seen that woman Larry's marrying, Deanna Lund?
Yeah.
Number 12 or 14 or whatever the heck it is? It's a clean toss-up for whom most looks like they just popped out of the Minnesota pipeline into a Times Square quarter-throw film festival, Amos. Deanna Lund, Ivana Trump, or Madonna. And this final note from Larry. Let me just read it to you, and you see if you can keep your food down. Says, quote, "Don't blame me. Yes, I was the originator of Network National Talk Radio in 1978. And what's happened to it in the 90s is embarrassing. Yes, it is, Larry. You're still on it. By the way, I watched that Buffalo Gals on TV the other night.
Yeah.
Which one was Jocelyn Elders? And you can soundbite that, Amos. Much obliged for having me on your show."
Remember those velvet pictures that seemed
Hey, Mavis, turn that radio on, will you?
Radio sucks. I like videos better. Not you, you hamster hopper.
Amos in the morning.
Nice to see you.
It's been a long time. You're just as lovely as you used to be.
How's your new love? Are you happy?
Hope you're doing fine. Just to know it means so much to me.
What's that, darling? How am I doing?
Guess I'm doing all right, except I can't sleep and I cry all night till dawn. What I'm trying to say is I love you and I miss you, and I'm so sorry that I did you wrong.
Ah, the late Conway Twitty here. I miss it away. That's just stupid.
Thanks, but no thanks, baby. I've already got more trouble than I need.
17 out the hour here in New York City. Gilbert?
Thanks, but no thanks, baby. I've already got more trouble than I need.
Doesn't get any lamer than this, folks.
I don't want no lonely, lustful woman's irate husband after me. Amos in the morning.
Hi.
logical place for them to go is near the Meadowlands. I can't see anywhere else that makes any sense.
Mike and the Mad Dog, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
The Giants are playing, the Cowboys are playing the Redskins in an NFC Championship game. Anyone say, damn, I can't stand this game today. We're playing in Jersey. I didn't.
Mike and the Mad Dog, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Remember.
Jake McDonald on the other side of 5. Talk about the Islanders.
Mike and the Mad Dog, Sports Radio 66, WFAN. I don't care if it rains or freezes, long as I got my plastic Jesus riding on the dashboard of my car. I can go 100 miles an hour, long as I got the almighty power stuck up there with my pair of fuzzy dice.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Can I get an amen?
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Hi, friends. It's the Right Reverend Dr. Billy Sol Hargis, praise Jesus, God's other son, aiming the message today at new members of the flock. Folks already conversing with some aspects of the righteous path, being from Little Rock and Tulsa and Wichita and Fargo and Bakersfield and all the rest of them places where children of God know what a farmer's tan is. And then a plumber's crack and a clever riposte out of some loser who's down on all fours sneaking out your septic lateral. My ministry, however, offers some unique opportunities for further sharing your faith that y'all might not be familiar with. Basically, I bring you the word, you bring me the way. I'm asking you to rid yourself of the root of all evil, friends. Yes, sir, stack that heathen you-know-what up and cast it onto me. Do not be sending the fruit of your labors off to Jimmy Swaggart or Jim Baker or Brother Oil and his kid. Send it to Dr. Billy Sol Hargis, and you ain't gonna get no hold my breath till I turn blue. Jerusalem timeshare, limited partner, dancing dozen water slide jive. Dearly beloved, funk that. You ain't gonna get no Brother Swagger deal neither. Watching some short stay Sally riding him side saddle at a Bayou flop house while he monkey spanks his one-eyed idol harder than Bill Clinton hamming his lecture for that goofball hallucinating Hank, the doctor whose mind is blank. Jim Baker ain't gonna be trying to buy your child's underwear with it either. And Oral ain't gonna wind up with an attitude sitting on top of a condom vendor or an ATM machine refusing to come down, praise God. No, sir, you send me your tithes, offerings, and love pledges, friend, and you know what I'm going to do with it? Spend it. It's all in my book, God's Other Son, soon to be available in paperback with an attractive holy poster pullout of Dr. Hargis, by the way. So let's close her out with a simple statement of fiscal philosophy, all right, friends? Oral once said if you didn't send him money, he'd die. And I say, friends, if you don't send me money, you'll die. Tell the truth now. Avoid a plague of trouble and unnecessary strife. My message is light and simple. Your money or your life. Can I get an amen now?
All right, here's Dwight Yoakam and Buck Owens. Dwight, you'll soon hear. You can't understand. He apparently still has Sharon Stone in his mouth.
I came here looking for something.
Imus in the morning. 2020 Sports. Richard J. Daly.
The confrontation was not created.
Camouflage fatigues. Rush Limbaugh. Good morning, Rush.
Friends, the massive moderate movement marches on. I am Commander Limbaugh of the mighty Mossback Militia, promoting the paranoia, paving the path for the People's Paramilitary Patrol, shooting from the hip and aiming for the head of those who seek to rob us of our freedoms. I do not have the president's picture on my targets. However, I do have a striking likeness of Hillary and him on my bathroom tissue. Doctor, here is the news. There is a No chance of confirming you. Henry Foster's got his feet up in the stirrups for a change, getting a specular exam by the Senate Labor and Human Resources Committee. Just a little pap smear. And by that, I mean all that liberal pap about a smear campaign designed to derail his credibility. At the forefront of the whining is, of course, the teary-eyed Bubba, who in an ardent and asinine speech stated, "If we can't confirm Henry Foster to be the Surgeon General of the United States, what kind of person can we confirm?" Well, how about for starters, one with fundamental math skills? It's no wonder that the president is pushing so hard for him. If, in Foster's estimation, 39 is less than a dozen, his script writing prowess is of vital interest to Roger Clinton. Doctor, I think I speak for all conservatives when I say that we'd gladly judge you on your record if you could only remember what it was. Speaking of judges and surgeon generals, Clarence Thomas lookalike Joyce Ellen Elders is, brace yourself, in the June issue of Playboy. Now, before you attempt to stem the tide of the inevitable water brash resultant of that statement, she is not the subject of a pictorial, a fact which is simultaneously a relief to all God-fearing Americans as well as a blow to atheists everywhere. She is, rather, the subject of an in-depth interview, calling Jesse Helms a, quote, typical white Southern male bigot. Ms. Elders, if there was the mere semblance of a brain anywhere within that rather large and obtuse skull of yours, you'd know that Jesse Helms is anything but typical. Dr. J goes on to say that she still believes we should teach children about masturbation, that for too long we've been told old wives' tales about going blind and crazy. This from the bespectacled loon, Dr. Joyce Ellen Elders. Wives' tales, Physician, heal thyself. Heal. Good girl.
9 minutes now till the hour. Senator Alphonse D'Amato coming up a little later this morning. Here's Rush Limbaugh to, sort of sing.
Imagine there's no Clinton. It's easy if you try. No more Hillary Rodham. She choked on humble pie. Imagine Bill and Hillary being led away in chains. Imagine and impeachment. It isn't hard to do. No more feminazis in the cabinet. Or homosexual Jews.
Fine, Rush.
Imagine Janet Reno bursting into flames. You may say Megadeth Holmes, 'cause I'm not the only one. Someday we'll get rid of all the liberals, and then we shall overcome. Imagine no more health care. I wonder if you can. No more blacks on welfare. White water broke the dam. Imagine all the Negroes looking for a job. You may say, Rush, you're a genius. Well, you're not the only one. Someday we'll get rid of all the liberals, and then we shall overcome.
Rush Limbaugh here in the Imus in the Morning program. And now on the I line at 1-800-37. Alphonse D'Amato coming up a little bit. George Carlin tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, Imus in the morning.
I'm here now with Breen in the I
Imus and Washington Network Newsroom.
I'm your principal anchor, David Brinkley, joined by our usual cast of calls, Rush Limbaugh, Walter Cronkite, and at our New York bureau, Blaine Trump. I believe you know them all, so that said, let's get this over with. First, here in Washington, President Clinton's nominee to become Surgeon General has begun his much-anticipated appearance before a Senate committee, weighing whether or not his nomination will move forward. Among the senators to initially question Dr. Henry Foster was Massachusetts Senior Senator Edward Kennedy.
Mr. Chairman, why is this fellow Urkel here? Where is it, Dr. Foster? That is Dr. Foster, Senator Kennedy. My mistake. I'd like to apologize to you, Dr. Foster. Now then, Doctor, I want you to know I admire the program you instituted for wayward teens, your I Have a Future project. Does it address the problem of teenage pregnancies?
Can I do that? Yes, Senator. Through an adjunct to my I Have a Future, which I call simply I Have a... Can I do that? Addressing the problem of teenage sexual experience through another effort I've instituted entitled Put a Sock on It, involving a less controversial plan than condom distribution. I see a tie-in with Thorlo.
Fine thinking, Dr. Foster. No further questions, unless you might be able to tell me, medically, why my head is now bigger than Molly Ivins.
In news from religion, another stunning development on the heels of the Supreme Court ruling that a Michigan school must remove a painting of Jesus Christ and replace it with a portrait of Betty Shabazz. News from the Episcopal Church that former National Treasurer Ellen F. Cook embezzled over $2,200,000 from the organization during the past 5 years. Chagrined, Ms. Cook is quoted as saying she has deep remorse and regret, but also a Lexus, a condo in Boca Raton, and a live-in personal trainer who looks like Brad Pitt. So she figures she can deal with the remorse and regret angle. And she says, let him who is without sin cast the first. Whatever.
And finally, at the double murder trial of O.J. Simpson, observers say the now familiar courtroom turbulence persists, with the trial structure unraveling even further in the latest session, when Judge Lance Ito announced that he couldn't take it anymore, dismissed himself, appointed O.J. to take over the proceedings, and threw himself at the feet of startled sheriff's deputy, saying, shoot me.
Imus in Washington here on the Imus in the Morning program. It is 8 minutes after the hour. Well, right now, here's Rush. Anyway, here now, the aforementioned former drama critic for the New York Times, now an op-ed columnist for the New York Times, Frank Riss. Good morning, Mr. Riss.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Fine. Well, I think you've succeeded me as drama critic. I heard your review of Hamlet. I also like the fact that you don't bother with these niceties of opening night. Just go in right in the first preview and let them have it.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
But in order to bring part of what is really an integral part of show business, a relationship between agents and, in this particular case, authors for the people in, say, Wichita or Tulsa or Little Rock, or where we went on Monday in Bakersfield, California, where we go on this morning. So.
Well, I think that's great. By the way, it sounds like the stations you're adding is the trail of those two guys they picked up. Right.
Frank Fritz.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
George Carlin tomorrow night at the Westbury Music Fair and Saturday night. Great opportunity to see one of the great comic minds of the 20th century. And equally humorous fellow Rob Bartlett and the Bartletts will be at Rascals in Ocean Township Friday.
Day back at the Coliseum in Quebec, where Quebec has only lost one time this year, so 5 games in 9 days.
Mike and the Mad Dog, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
It's creeping up on you.
Pacers was so impressive against Atlanta that you have to feel now the Pacers are going to come in here and just run right by the Knicks, right? Wrong.
Mike and the Mad Dog, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Hey, Beavis, hand me those papers, would you?
What you doing, Bubba?
Going over the Republican proposal for cutting Medicare. Reforms are inevitable, but I'm not going to support a proposal to slash a social program for the elderly just to pay for tax cuts for the rich.
Why not? Old people suck.
Senior citizens, Beavis. Senior citizens suck. But they deserve health care like everybody else.
They should pay for it. They use more of it than everybody else. They're like always breaking hips and stuff.
Senior citizens are on fixed incomes, Davis. They can't afford the high cost of health care.
When people at the North Pole get old, they get stuck on an iceberg and set out to sea. But like here, they just get a job at McDonald's.
The AARP is strongly opposed to the cuts. That's why Newt Gingrich and Alan Simpson are pitching a bitch about them.
That Scrooge Simpson dude looks like he's ready for the iceberg himself.
Tell me about it. And Strom Thurmond looks like he's about 40 years overdue.
But like, they're old too. How come they want to cut Medicare?
Because if they don't, they won't be able to come through with the tax cuts or balanced budget like they promised, which would make me look good.
So what are you going to do to keep them from cutting Medicare?
I'm going to do my best to rally the senior citizens of America into action.
Wow! I bet Newt's really scared. A bunch of old people in walkers throwing their teeth at him.
He's not worried. He just get old Strom to lob back that orange wig of his.
Look out! Old fart wars! Old fart wars!
All right. Here's the fat girl to sing now.
Looking out on the morning rain, I used to feel.
Yeah. Okay, just roll it. That's a drunk at a karaoke bar.
He's drunk.
What is that?
He's drunk. He sounds like he looks a confused street bum.
I have every Bob Dylan, all the early albums. I have every Bob Dylan album ever made. You're heavyweight champion of the world. I'm Mike Tyson. Good morning, champ.
Morning, Mr. Chump. Hi, boys and girls. This is I Am Mike Tyson, role model, speaking to you on behalf of Dr. Henry Foster's I Have a Future program. The I Have a Future program is Dr. Foster's plan to ensure that you teenagers today have a future, something he may not even have himself, the way things are going. It's scary being a teenager. So many choices to make. Should I smoke cigarettes? Should I drink alcohol? Should I take drugs? Should I force a woman to have sex with me in a hotel room?
No.
The answers to those questions are no, 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 and the qualified yes. Cigarettes, alcohol, and drugs are bad. A one-way ticket to Palookaville. But sex can be a beautiful experience if you are ready for it, and you don't force it. And she doesn't call the cops and cry rape. Now, I know your hormones are raging inside, going every which way. You can't contain yourself. You get itchy down there, and it needs scratching. But you gotta know how to ignore those urges, or satisfy them in other ways. Otherwise, you could end up pregnant, sick, or in a prison shower with two fat, hairy, convicted felons trying to wash your back. Dr. Foster has had great success with other programs he has been part of, most namely in the 70s when he sterilized retarded women for their own good. You should listen to him, because he's got a lot of experience when it comes to sex. How to keep from having it, and how to correct the consequences of it. All I can say is, I wish they had this damn program when I was a teenager. I might not have had to waste 3 years of my life in a prison shower with two fat, hairy, convicted felons trying to wash my back. Dr. Foster wants you teenage girls to know that if you don't want to have sex, you don't have to have it. No means no. Believe me, I learned that. He also wants you teenage boys to know that you have other alternatives available to you, besides finding some fly tenderoni with a fat bunkie, knocking her boots, then knocking her up. That's why you should read some of the pamphlets he's published with the help of the former Surgeon General, Dr. Elders. Pamphlets like, you don't have to be chicken to choke it. Sex is a monkey on your back. Spank that monkey. And abstinence makes the hard grow longer. Your other alternative is to have sex with one of those retarded women Dr. Foster performed a hysterectomy on in the 70s.
Oh, no.
She won't say no, she won't get pregnant, and she probably won't call the cops, so you won't end up in a prison shower trying to keep two fat, hairy, convicted felons from washing your back. Remember, kids, don't do something that feels good now, because you don't know how bad it may feel later.
Mike Tyson here on the Imus in the Morning program. You can call the Imus in the Morning program many places in the country at 1-800-370-IMUS.
2020 Sports. Shot clock at 5. Up top to Harper. Wide open three. He puts it in. Derek Harper from downtown again. He's 7 of 9 from three-point range.
And the crowd is saying, no more threes, please.
No more rhymes, Clyde.
Raconteur and bon vivant, Walt Frazier with the call. Scott Muni in for Mike Breen. Imus in the Morning 2020 Sports. The Knicks ate Cleveland for breakfast, 93-80 last night, in a game which saw Derek Harper hitting 7 of the Knicks' 13 three-pointers. Harper finished out the game with 30 points, falling short by 1 of an NBA record for three-pointers in a playoff game. After the struggle, Harper was interviewed by the aforementioned Clyde Frazier.
So, Harper, Susan and I paid homage to your physical conditioning coming into this season. We know you lost weight. You look splendid.
Jesus, when are you two going to pick out China patterns? You look great. You lose weight? God, I love those new shoes. What do you say we go catch some dinner? Like sushi? The Bulls ended their series last night with a universal for behavior more befitting a player. Mueller, who maintains he does not have an alcohol problem, was suspended indefinitely with pay on Monday after being arrested for an unfortunate episode that included telling a waitress who served him as many as 8 drinks that she was beautiful and trying to hold her at his table, singing loudly with the band, stumbling over himself while trying to dance with reluctant strangers, and picking a fight with a patron. Assistant head coach Lloyd Carr will assume the helm while a search for a new head coach goes on, but don't cry for Michigan.
I would not be honest if I didn't say that we are wounded and we have great pain. But I would say to all of you,
What?
Don't shed any tears for us. We don't want your tears. Don't feel sorry for us. We don't want your sorrow.
And we don't want a football coach peeing on a salad bar. Lighten up, Lloyd. Have a drink.
Scott Muni, here on the Imus in the Morning program. George Carlin and David Brinkley are coming up this morning. Here's the great Ernest Tubb.
You left me and you went away.
Oh, brother boy.
You said that you'd be back in just a day. You've broken your promise and you've left me here alone. I don't know why you did, dear, but I do know that you're gone. I'm walking the floor over you. I can't sleep a wink, that is true. I'm hoping and I'm praying as my heart breaks right in two. Walking the floor over you.
Imus in the morning.
A very important